debate is a healthy one. One should accept that any issue, if you want really to get the right side of it, just open it for you. Islam does not go against debating such kind of issues. Because at the time of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he did allow his companions to debate, to raise the questions, to do ask him many questions. And then he was just open to answer some of the questions he knows. The question he did not know, he would just say, Allah Akbar. That is something has to be acceptable in the Muslim community. It is not because people don't want to go for Sharia or people are against the Sharia. Because in the Quran al-Kareem, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, he raised the question. He asked Allah, Rabbi arini kayfa tuhyi al-mawta? Qala wa lam tu'min? Qala bala, walakin liyatma'inna qalbi. Even Ibrahim, who is known to be the most, the closest prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he raised the question. He asked Allah. He told him, arini kayfa tuhyi al-mawta? Show me. How do you just make these things? People passed away. We have a feeling they will not come back again. Show me how do you do it, God? God didn't answer him. Don't you believe in me? Kalam told me, Kala bala. No, I do believe in you. I just want my heart to be stable about some of the things you may, as a human being, think is very difficult, it's not acceptable, it's harsh, it's very deep, like the case now we are having it in front of us. You may look at from this, you could raise the question to us, is it allowed in Islam? Even you ask, is it allowed in Islam? Yes. Those who are learned, فَسَأَلَ أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. It is said in Islam that it is an obligation upon those people who do not know to ask. Obligation upon those people who know to answer them in a very nice manner. As Prof mentioned, you have 2 or 3 types of people as far as the Sharia issue concerned. Some people who do know, but they do not really like it. Some people do not know, they want to know. Some people, they are confused. So 3 people, you need to help all of them. Those who know and they do not really like it, you need to convince them. If you fail to convince them, you should not be accusing Sharia, because your role is to convince. Those who do not know or don't know, you have to teach them. You have to help them to get to know in a better manner. And those people who are confused, you have to clear. Many of these, I think this third category, among Muslim community, we are having a lot of confusion. This is just very normal because we are living in multicultural society, and then the globalizations around the changes, the world which is changing. We look at some of these things sometimes very harsh, unacceptable, because we look at it in the light of other jurisdiction. Once you take a country like the States in America, they have, when you kill somebody in some of the states, they have the law that whoever killed him or she will be killed. But if you go to Europe, they will look at this is a very harsh one. But in America, is that if you want to compare what is happening in America to what is happening in Europe, you will find it difficult to get to know. But what is needed wherever you be living, you need to convince the people. More people are convinced, less problematic to become. The less they're not convinced, more problematic it will be. And then the role of the learner and scholars, think this you give up. Don't get stressed or don't get really see I want to give up because people do not get what I want them to do. No, Prophet ﷺ, for the 13 years in Mecca, was not giving all the details of Sharia. The whole issue was about La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. But could you imagine today somebody will be spending 13 years to only around one kind of word like this? So we become very impatient because we want the things to go faster. Because he knows that once you get this one, go through and people accept it, whatever will come later will be much easier. So when he came to Medina after these 13 years, the 10 years in Medina was much easier for him to come. Something which is very important in Islam, which is to know, we have the ahkam, the two types of ahkam, two types of legal rulings. We call them ahkam Shariah. You do have some ahkam Shariah where the texts are very clear and then very difficult to go other way around. If you get 100 Muslims, you get 90 of them, they are aware, they know that it's very clear. For instance, if you ask the people about the pillars of Islam or the prayer, everybody knows that prayer is is compulsory. Everybody knows the fasting, zakat, hajj, and shahadat. That one is very difficult to get the Muslims. They do not know that one. But when you come to the details of the prayer, how we pray, then you will have differences. That differences from the time of Prophet Muhammad until today, it is happening. When you come to say Islam should be a way of life, Muslims will agree upon it. But how to go about it, then you get differences. When you come to say some of these sins, some of these actions, activities are prohibited in Islam, then it's okay. But how you just go for punishment, yeah, you will have differences. That differences are human, should be acceptable, but should be taken into account. That let us discuss and get why and why in Islam is allowed. The answer to why, because of this. If you do say no why, then you will open the door to extremism. Those who are extremists, because we do not give them the chance to raise the normal questions. If you have a child at home, everything is forbidden. That child will become an extremist. Why? Because some of the questions he was having in mind, he wanted you to help him to understand it, but you do not want it. He closed the door. So the issue of the hudud should be an issue of debate. Muslims should accept all over the world to discuss. You have items within the hudud, they do call them, they are ijtihad. They are subject to ijtihad. For instance, when you take this issue of caning, for instance, this is a judge, that is only for one, what do you call it, a crime or a sin, which is called a zina, had. When somebody, الزاني والزانية فاجلدوا كل واحد منهما 100 جلدة. That is the one which is stated. Anything beyond zina, it became ta'zir. It's no longer had. It's no longer had. Even for khamr, the alcohol, from the point of view of the scholars, the most prominent scholars, there is no had, but there is ta'zir. Why they say ta'zir? Because Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they brought before him one day somebody who was drunken. He gave him 40 slash. Sometimes they brought somebody 10. Sometimes somebody to just, say like not slap him. Sometimes he just threw the guy and asked him to go to take an ablution. So if it was had, it should be only one. As we say for zina, anything beyond zina, it is ta'zir. Could be for LGBT people, whatever they're committing, this is abnormal behaviors and other things. That should be, the ulama should be finding. It's not saying falsely it must be canon. Whoever it says canon should be, it shouldn't be, he or she has to bring, what do you call it, evidence in there. It has to be something that you need to be punished, yes, but with punishment, up to you people. As we take about prison, at the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, الزاني البكر, the unmarried zani, they were easily exiling him. Miyatu jalda wa taghrib 100, we get jalda. Wa taghrib meaning you exile him. Suppose the person is from Clinton, you tell him for 1 year he don't come back to Clinton. You send him to Selangor or you send him to Johor. That was taghrib. That was the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The time Abu Bakr was the same thing. When Umar came, he realized that sometime if you take that criminal, you exile him from Clinton, you send him to Johor, over there he will commit similar crime. He said, no more exiling people. We get them and find a place we do call them the prison. From his time he created such that we was not, because when somebody is in a prison, actually he is exiled. By the exile, when it is upon you, he may move around, but that place, he is being confined in one place, he cannot make move. So from this point of view, you will come and look at this. Any other punishment which are not being stated in the Quran, which are not being stated clearly by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then it is upon the debate. Is it the canon which is suitable? Society should be involved. What is the best way? Because the punishment is not because of the punishment itself. The main objective for the punishment sometimes, you want to give a lesson to those people who might be intending or willing to commit a crime. So if you do like I do فَاعْتَبِرُوا يَا أُولِي الْأَبْصَارِ you should take attention, you should pay attention, because what happened to this, it will happen to you if you do the same thing. In Usuli talk, we call it al-illah. You take into account, you should be, what happened to these people will happen to you if you go for this type of crime, or if you do the same activity like other things. What I would say here, this is an issue could be upon. There is no harm, no prohibition. Nobody will be going to say, if somebody says an opinion about it, he or she is going against Sharia. No, that is not an issue. But everybody, all Muslims agree upon that there is a crime, and that crime needs to be corrected or need to be punished. How you punish it, we leave it to the community, we leave it to the society to decide. Because some of these crimes, they came after the death of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Islam was not that much interested in punishment, but it was much interested in education. You may say hudud law came, the latest one in Islam. Some people are talking on the sixth years of Hijrah. So meaning for first 13 years, plus 6, 19 years, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we started to talk about, because we have finished educating the people. We have finished giving the people the importance in what they know. It will come the last one, not the first one. That one today in Muslim community, something need to be corrected. I have been saying this one from 92 or 93. We should not be trying to say, when you talk about Sharia law, it is just about hudud. No, hudud is the last, not the first. It should be the last things that the Muslims should think about it in application. That's why وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ. Ma in Arabic, it is, what do you call it? Sirat ism, sirat al-umum. Ma in Arabic means every single thing is related to Sharia. If you don't reject it, I won't be saying I apply hudud, but I don't care about the riba. I apply hudud, I don't care about the social ills, backbiting, hitting, betraying, lying. I I don't care if I buy, that will not be Islam. Islam wants you to take all together, and that will be more helpful, and you will see the beauty of Islam. If you take it separately, you will find it sometimes difficult and sometimes unacceptable, because it has to be like a small, it's the same house, you know. You have pillars, you have roof, you have walls, and then you have all together. If you decide